Hey everybody, my name is your host, Calvin Logan with the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. Well man, it's a blessing, it's an honor for you listening to me right now. The Logan Power Show, we are nationwide, worldwide. We are here to impact the community, make a difference for all those that are watching us. Always look us up at www.theloganpowershow.us. We're here to come into your household to make a difference in your lives. We're here to educate, we're here to uplift, we're here to make a difference in this entire community. This nation will know that to God be the glory. Jesus is the way, Jesus is the reason for the season. Today is the day to donate to us. www.theloganpowershow.us. I'm telling you right now, you sow a seed here, Bible promise return on your giving. We're here to make a difference. We appreciate all that you do. Going on YouTube, checking out the Logan Power Show. Hey, like us on Facebook at the Logan Power Show. We got our own supporterships page at the Logan Power Show supporters page. Call us today at 843-697-5545. Finally, again, email us at theloganpowershow@gmail.com. Well, I tell you right now, we're going to trust and we're going to lean on God. This show's going to make a difference. We're going to make it happen, family, and we do it together. We're going to make an impact in this nation and across the world. This is me, your host, Calvin Logan, nationwide, worldwide, the Logan Power Show. We love y'all.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, live here at New Beginning Kingdom Assembly International Ministries here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Well, I got with me, he's an activist, he's a director, he's for the people, Mr. Butch Kennedy. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. Thanks a lot, man. How you doing?
Good. Gotta have you in the show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here, man. Finally.
Finally. Working it out. We're working it out. So, Mr. Kennedy, get this straight down to the business. I know that you're a busy man. Let's talk about, for instance, your Project Unity, what you got going on, and your fight against domestic violence.
Well, Project Unity is a nonprofit organization. We're a 501c3 organization, and our goal is to reduce crime in high crime areas. We started in Columbia. We founded in Columbia. Our founder's name is Bruce Tresvant. He lives in Columbia, and Project Unity was started out of a necessity. Mr. Tresvant was actually accosted in his front yard along with his mother. Someone pulled a gun on him. And at the time, Columbia, South Carolina was one of the most dangerous cities in our state. So Mr. Tresvant formed this group called Project Unity USA, and what he did was he actually put some cameras out in a high crime area in Columbia, and he was able to work with law enforcement, and they were able to arrest over 75 perpetrators over one weekend. That whole area that he worked on at that time was one of the highest crime areas, and the kids that were never coming out to play, they were all held hostages in their own home. So what happened was, after that happened, the kids started coming out, the kids started playing. If you go through there now, the kids are out there, they're having a good time, they're no longer hostages in the community. And that was the beginning of Project Unity. Once he did that, I started working with him with that. And when I came back to Charleston, I'm from Charleston, so when I came back to North Charleston, I found out that at that time, North Charleston was the 7th most dangerous city in the United States. And when I first heard that, I thought I had read something wrong. And if you look about what's going on in North Charleston right now, they have more murders in North Charleston than they ever had at any time. So now we have to be worse than we were back then. So what I did then was I asked Mr. Tresvant if I could bring Project Unity to Charleston and do some of the same work that he did here. And I've been doing that for 10 years now. And at the time, like I said, when we first started, North Charleston was the 7th most dangerous city in the United States. And with working with law enforcement, the media, local leaders, the community, and other people, we were able to reduce that crime. So at one time, we weren't even in the top 100 anymore. But as you can see, and a lot of people know that there's been a lot of recent murders here in North Charleston, and we're probably going to be in the top 10 again.
Got it. Well, it's good to see that people are taking the initiative. I know a lot of times some people like to be in the background, not to be in the forefront, scared because of either it could be family not getting hurt or getting hurt themselves, or just being numb to the situation. You see it so many times, so what should I care? It's not bothering my home. Who cares? And it's not bothering anybody. Now, for those that don't have a demographic of North Charleston, South Carolina runs typically about 100,000, about 105,000 plus people here, about 50, 60% African American. and you drop them in 20-25% is Latino. But for those who don't know, North Charleston pulls in roughly, I would say about 25, about $30+ million per year. So it's pretty much a very wealthy, a fast-paced moving city. And you think with the demographics that we would have a lot of change, but still the same old, same old. They have-nots, still poverty, still African Americans, even though being 60% of the demographic are still behind and not even getting 10% of what's going on when it comes to finance, funding. If you go down Ashley Phosphate Road, estimation, it's roughly about $500 million just that road alone. Now, Calvin, how you know that is because you have to look into what's called the Applebee's and actual IHOP are owned by the same exact conglomerate company, and they pull in about $3 billion a year. The Walmart that's on the far end where Rivers Avenue and Ashley Phosphate, that right there, that particular Walmart pulls in roughly, I would say close to about $100 million plus a year, just based off of what the actual numbers are. And these are just numbers I'm just saying, I did my homework. On Ashley Phosphate Road alone, it's about $500 million due to the fact you have to think they're counting or what's called Boeing on the back end. When you go behind Ashley Phosphate, the actual Charleston, we talk about the Air Force Base, including Boeing. So yeah, think about all the money. So that's why I'm getting the money is what I'm getting behind that. When you go behind Ashley Phosphate, you got Boeing. Then you have to think about also the Air Force alone. So that's millions and billions of dollars that's going around. So just like I said, I've done my homework. So what can we do as to help you in this particular fight against domestic violence, against poverty, against things that's going on to make a difference in our area?
Well, it all begins with leadership.
Got it.
It all begins with leadership. The first thing we got to do is take the poll. Just like you said, 60%, right? There's no reason why we shouldn't own North Charleston. So we just need to take the polls back. We need to make sure that we are at the voting booth and we are being held accountable. So many people died for our right to vote. I mean, we only owe it to those people to vote. You know what I mean? Go out and vote. So get your vote on.
Amen, amen, amen. So with your fight to make domestic violence to be something like a cold, I take a medicine, we get healed, we grow forward. What is it that we have to do to help with the situation? Because the laws are so misconstrued a lot. You know, if a woman hits a man or a man hits a woman, you both are going to jail. And then you have situations to where the actual predator gets more love than the victim, because the victim has to disclose where they're located at, certain things, when it comes to the reports, and then the predator has access to that as well. And then you spend, like just for jail time, like if a woman and a man got into a fight, and say the man was protecting himself, just how the rule states, that's at least a 30-day time in jail, about at least a couple $1,000s in fines. So you think about a small dispute or getting loud or y'all putting hands on each other, think about 30 days. You say, oh, Calvin, 30 is nothing. Okay, you 30 days with no job, 30 days not coming to work, what's gonna happen? One, you're gonna lose your job, there ain't no health insurance, no nothing. The bill's just behind in 1 month, and some of us are living paycheck to paycheck. So just one simple time of just drama can now your whole life just shut up on you.
You're 100% correct. See, I was so naive when I came into this. You know, here I am. I'm saying I'm a man. Okay, we men as men, we try to fix things. That's what we do as men. We try to fix things. This domestic violence thing is not as easy as we anticipated it to be. A lot of people don't really understand how pervasive this crime is. How when you deal with interpersonal violence, you know how it affects the whole community. The people that we don't really talk about, the people that are really missing in this whole equation, are the kids, the children. The children are missing and the men are missing. And it doesn't happen by accident. The men need to come out. And in order to stop violence, I always tell women this all the time because, you know, when I do what I do, I'm one of the only men that is there doing what it is that I do. So I'm at the table with a lot of women, and I shouldn't be at that table alone. I shouldn't be at that table alone. I think more men should be at that table along with me. That's why we do the Hope Walk against domestic violence. We have it in September of every year, and we have it to raise money for victims of domestic violence. This is one funding that is done, that 100% of the money that is raised goes towards helping a victim of domestic violence. We've been able to help move people out of a situation, and we only use this if they cannot get into the safe house, which is my sister's house. If they cannot get into my sister's house, then we're under obligation of my sister's house. If somebody refers a victim to us, then we make sure that that victim is helped. We try to fill the gaps that are going on in the domestic violence community. And when you deal with domestic violence and you deal with men being not present in the fight, it's very difficult for men to really understand the true nature of domestic violence. It's really difficult to understand. You know, I get a lot of men saying, why don't women just leave? Like it's just that easy, and it's not that easy. It's not that simple at all. I mean, there's children involved, there's financial issues involved. There's so many different dynamics that play upon the fact of just someone simply leaving. And then when they do leave, like you just mentioned, Calvin, you know, you can leave and you can feel like you're safe, and then all of a sudden, you know, because South Carolina has a law that says when you leave and when you're gone for 30 days, you have to go to the DMV and do yourself a change of address. And when you do that change of address, the DMV sends out a confirmation letter. You know what's on that confirmation letter? Your current address. So now your current address is being sent back to your abuser, and guess who knows where you're at now? So the good thing about that, and I'm so excited about that, is because when we found out about that, I picked up the phone, I talked to two people. That was Senator Kempton, and I talked to Representative Gilliard, and within 2 days, they had already talked to the DMV. DMV never understood what the ramifications of that confirmation letter was, and they took the return address out. So now, because the reason why they were doing that basically was to fight identity theft. They didn't want people just to go in there and just change addresses and change identities. So they did that for that. But now there's no return address. So now the perpetrator will not know where the victim is. And to me, that's a big win-win for domestic violence victims everywhere. We had a victim that actually had to go through that, wow. And her abuser was a police officer.
Wow.
So when she found out that now he knows where she is, we have to move her again. And that the cost of that can become very expensive, and it's very cumbersome. And the victim feels like they're lost, you know what I mean? If you feel like, well, where can I go now? First of all, he's a police officer. And then the help that I get, once I get the help that I get, and they put me in this position, now the DMV is telling me exactly where I'm at again, so he come get me if he needs to, if he wants to get me. So wow. It was difficult, man, but like I said, I thought I was naive. You know, you learn, you live and you learn, and you find out these things, and the only thing you can do is try to make change. And how we try to make change is together. I mean, it wasn't just my voice, it was the voice of Facebook. You know what I mean? I put it out there on Facebook, and people actually called in, they called the DMV, they called their representatives, and they made change. Your voice is powerful. Don't let anybody ever tell you that your voice is not powerful, because your voice is powerful. People change things.
Amen, amen. And for those that are listening to me right now, this is a growing concern, you know, and it's not just the ladies getting abused, the fellas getting abused too. Don't think because no hands are being put on somebody that verbal abuse is not just as powerful as physical abuse. You wonder why people are getting killed, literally, guns, stab wounds, you know, fist pumps, you know, people getting thrown out of buildings, people getting ran over with vehicles. There are some crazy domestic violence cases where, you know, it's easy to say to walk away. It's very easy. But there's a boiling point that people don't talk about where, you know, and I can testify to tell people this, is like when you're at this point of where you're about to tip over, when it's at the boiling point, people don't understand when you've been verbally talked to constantly, and the person just snapped. And sometimes our simple domestic violence is not, some might be first timers. And first time domestic violence could be something really simple, something small, but it's going to require, one, it's going to require counseling, it's going to require prayer, it's going to require the community to actually pretty much hover over the situation. Not to mean by covering up, but it's required you need to talk to the victim and the predator. What I mean by if the victim is being abused, things like that, you take them away from the situation, you talk to the predator, you pretty much explain the ramifications, how it's impacting people. You're impacting your person you say you love, you care about, and what it is you're doing. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying that I'm for it, but it's two tales to the story. And there's always a start. That middle part we don't talk about, because there's always signs when there's something going on. But we have this hush-hush mentality where, you know what, when I need help, I'm too prideful to say, well, you know what, I got an issue, I got a problem. You know, just like say, if I'm a drug addict, I got drug addiction. If I'm into alcohol, it could be pornography, it could be sexual addict, it could be, for instance, money problems, it could be a whole bunch of things, but we don't come for help. So tell us, how can a person first get in contact with your project, if they're a victim, and how can they get help? What do they need to do?
Those are great questions. I mean, and you hit
Nail on the head in so many different points, you know, it's kind of hard to just talk about one of them.
And that's exactly what my organization does. We go out in the community. We do domestic violence training for our youth. We do them for the clergy, and we do them for men, specifically for men. I have a conversation with men that entails basically what you just said about knowing your breaking point. We as men know when we're going to reach that tip of the iceberg, so that's the time to walk away. So it's the hardest thing to do is to get men to hold other men accountable. The hardest thing to do is to get a man to walk away when he gets in that situation. But we have it's a learned behavior. We got to unlearn that behavior. But first of all, you have to admit that you have a problem. It's like an alcoholic does, you know what I mean? Alcoholics Anonymous, you have to admit that you have a problem. It's like domestic violence. If you're an abuser, you have to admit that you have a problem, and there's men out there that are willing to help you, and that's what we do. We go all over the state, like I said, and we train domestic violence victims. We talk to men and women because, I mean, for so many years, we've only got a piece of the puzzle. We've only understood the domestic violence from the woman's perspective. I think when you hear it from a male perspective as well and put them both together, I think that's the start of having that conversation that needs to be had before we end domestic violence.
Amen, amen, amen. So I know that for those that are listening to me right now, you want to have a clear-cut understanding of what we're talking about. This is a program that's going to help you. I don't care if you're male, female. It's helping the whole family. So I want you all to take a clear-cut look at this. I want you to take it with what I would say the fiber that's going to help you. If you got a problem or concern, hey, reach out. The best thing I say, reach out. Hey, you don't have to always put your stuff out there, say, I got a problem, but hey, you need to come in and get some serious help. So what can people do? What do they need to do? They have a violence, what do they do? How do they get in contact with you?
Well, they can go to our website, projectunityusa.org. They can reach me on my Facebook page, Butch Kennedy, or they can call our organization. We have an advocate on hand as well, but we like to have our advocate reach out to my sister's house before we do anything, because there's so many services that are provided. And if you don't go through my sister's house, you miss out on a lot of services. So we want to make sure that every victim gets all the services that they need so that they can heal healthily. So it's very important that when you reach out to us, that you let us know where you're at, what's going on, and the situation, and we'll definitely work with you. So if you know, if you want the number, I'll definitely give you the number. You can put it up on the screen or whatever, but it's 843-602-7829, and her name's Lisa Rahim. She is our outreach coordinator. She does 90% of the work that I get 100% of the credit for. So amazing people that work in this arena. It's not peaches and cream. It's not beautiful. I mean, a lot of people that I talk to on a daily basis have lost a loved one to domestic violence. It's just not that they're being punched or being beaten. They've actually lost a loved one, and it's kind of hard to have that conversation and communicate with people, and it's even harder to have a conversation and communicate with someone who's just abused by a man, and you're a man and you come in and try to help them, you know what I mean? So that's kind of difficult. But if you need any help, please, there's a domestic violence hotline. You can call that domestic violence hotline as well. You can reach out to my sister's house. You can reach out to our organization, Project Unity USA. You can reach out to Real Men Against Domestic Violence. We're all on Facebook, and we're easy to be found.
Amen, amen. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard it first, Mr. Butch Kennedy here at the Logan Power Show. I want you all who has a problem, hey, get some help. For the ones, if you lost a loved one, if you want to get into the fight, hey, get connected. I know a lot of times when tragedy happens, to turn that situation around, it's going to require love, it's going to require you to be at peace, It's required you to be moving. You know, when tragedy has happened, you don't want to be in a corner or secluded from people, because that's what causes mental thoughts. It causes a lot of different problems and concerns. So we don't want that to happen to you. Hey, reach us out here at the Logan Power Show, the LoganPowerShow@gmail.com. Go to our website, www.theloganpowershow.us. You can call us at 843-697-5545. Hey, the information was available from Mr. Butch Kennedy, but hey, let us know. We can get you right to him. Hey, the biggest thing I can say is, I got a problem, I need help, so let's get it together. Because my thing about it is, family, there's so many deaths going on to these days. So many people's lives are being lost for senseless stuff. Senseless. And what I mean by that, simple, minor disputes are turning into something really bigger, or bigger disputes are happening and there's no help given and the victim dies. And you know what? We're at the funeral saying, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, and it's not what we're gonna do anymore. So, hey, this time all the time I got, my name is Calvin Logan, the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. We make a difference. We love, we trust God. We'll see y'all on next week.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tracy Powell, motivational speaker, author, executive coach, and CEO of Synergetic Solutions, the platform for practical leadership. In 2012, I had the opportunity to establish this dynamic organization. Practical Leadership has two platforms. Our first platform is authorship. Under this platform, we work with current authors in promoting and branding their books as well as businesses. We also work with prospective authors under this platform to help them develop their writing from start to finish and assist them with publications. Our second platform is organizations. Under this platform, we work with organizations and leaders to enhance and develop leadership skills through training, masterminds, and small group sessions. Under the organizational platform, in 2016, I had the opportunity to publish my first book, Practical Leadership Lessons Learned from Mickey. This is a dynamic book that talks about leadership traits that are unconventional in the workplace today, but those that we face every day, and as sometimes we don't know how to address them. So this book gives you a great guide. If you're a leader looking for some unique leadership skills, looking for some time to reflect, it's definitely a book for you.
We live in a world where sex has become part of everyday conversations, but rape isn't talked about. According to the RAINN organization, 1 out of every 6 American women are a victim of sexual assault. So why is the conversation so taboo? My name is Lisi Callie-Lene, and I've become an author to get people talking. My book is titled Dear Little Black Girl, A Beautiful Mess. I was molested, I was raped, I was suicidal, I was a victim of domestic violence, and I suffered depression. Sharing my story, I'm hoping to open people's eyes to the reality we ignore. For many years, I suffered in silence as many others do. Together, let's take a stand against rape and break the silence.
Thinking about the world, looking at the nation. Suicide, genocide, homicide. 3 words come to mind. Times are changing, yeah. No more rumors, there are wars going on. Twisted doctors, scientists making clones. Economy got some backs against the wall. People dying for no reason at all. People of God don't even read their Bibles. There's no faith, no trust in the word. But everybody seems...
We are here to make an impact in the community. Our job is to be the voice. Be that voice for those that feel lost, hopeless. They need that hope, that joy to uplift themselves, the love that they're looking for. We're here to basically make people become more aware of what's going on in the community. We're here to make a difference. I'm telling you right now, come on to the show today. Access at www.loganpowershow.us. Call stay at 843-697-5545 or emails at theloganpowershow@gmail.com. This is the actual network. This is the actual show that's going to change your lives. I promise you. You sow into this show, the Bible promises turn on your giving. If you come on this show, your life is going to change. We're here, family, just for you. We will be your voice. You will get the victory, and to God be the glory. Hey, this is me, your host, Calvin Logan, the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. I appreciate you. Love you, family.
Hello, this is Pastor Andre, and also an author of the new book called In the Midst of My Mess, Finding Myself While Serving God. It gives segments of my book, of my life, and all the things that I went through as a minister, the ups and downs. And you can also get this book on Amazon and on Kindle. Once again, and my website, www.adfministries.org, called In the Midst of My Mess, Finding Myself While Serving God.